It is time to finally do a video that I've been putting off for a very long time. My Redwing Iron Rangers. Now, I did check before I turned on the camera. The first video of these came out January 27th, 2025. Right now, the time of filming, it is January 20th, 2026. Now, keep in mind, I had these for a few days to a week before that video went live. So we are right about, if not 1 year to the day, since I got these, started wearing them, started testing them. And yeah, that's a long time to do a review video. But it's really twofold why it took me so long to get here. First off, I bought these with my own money, and I would also like to add, I did buy these from Huckberry. I do work with Huckberry. They do send me samples of a lot of products. This is not one of them. This was something I bought from their site. I spent $350 of my own money on them. Now, there is an affiliate link in the description box. If you're looking to get these, I'd appreciate it if you use that link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do earn a small commission from that sale. Now, that is one of the reasons, though, it took me so long, is because I paid for these with my own money. Now, the way I like to work it is if someone is trusting me to send me a sample for review, that takes the priority. So something when I spend my own money on, that comes second fiddle to it. So these kind of got pushed to the back burner. Now, at the time I got these, I actually had a lot of footwear, so I kind of just kept pushing them back, pushing them back, pushing them back. And then I realized the second reason is there's a lot of content out there on the Redwing Iron Ranger. So me making a 1 or 2 month review video after having them, it wasn't going to add any value. It's going to get lost in the mix. No one was going to care. So now that I've had these a full year, I do have a lot of wear, a lot of tear. I understand how comfortable they're going to be. I understand if you need anything to help make them more comfortable while you're breaking them in. And I just have a better overall understanding of these boots now, having used them, worn them for a year. Now, you may have caught my Parkhurst, the Richmond video, the new one, the 618 last. Now, I did talk about another pair of boots from a different brand that I still love and I still wear a lot. That's this pair of boots, my Redwing Iron Rangers. I will essentially wear these interchangeably with my Parkhurst, the Richmond. I now do have 2 pairs of the Richmond. I have the old 602M and the new 618 last, and I'd say that is a very comparable boot as far as comfort goes, because I will say out of these 3 boots now, they're my most comfortable boots. They're my most worn boots would be my Parkhurst, the Richmonds, my older 602Ms, because I've had them for, I think, close to a year and a half, maybe 2 years at this point. And the new 618 is also very comfortable. I just don't have them as long. I've had them a couple of months, so I don't have as much wear in them. And my Iron Ranger. So basically, I'm wearing either of these boots interchangeably. Now, the couple differences between the Richmond and the Iron Ranger is the older 602M last of the Richmond. It's 2 pieces of leather sewn together in the vamp to give it the appearance of a cap toe, where the new 618 last is a true cap toe. But the Redwing Iron Ranger still has a bigger toe. It does have that more bulbous look, that clown shoe look, if you will, is what people call it. So the Iron Ranger definitely has a wider, bigger profile than the Parkhurst. But as far as comfort-wise, I find both these boots incredibly comfortable, and I will basically wear them interchangeably with each other. Now, as far as sizing goes, this is one of the reasons I ended up buying them from Huckberry, is because, well, I couldn't find them locally. There was one shop that had Iron Rangers. They did not have this, the copper rough and tough color. It's the color I wanted. They did not have this colorway. I think it was black. I can't remember what it was called. It was like a blacker colorway, or a black colorway, but they only had them in a size 8, which was too small. So I couldn't buy them because A, they didn't have the color I wanted, and they weren't the right size, and he wasn't going to be making an order anytime soon. And then I found they had Huckberry, and they also had multiple sizes. So I knew if I had to exchange these for size, Huckberry would have my back. I can send these back and get a different size if needed. Ended up getting it right on the nose the first time. These are an 8.5D. I'm an 8.5D on the Brannock, and these fit me perfectly. So that one dude that keeps commenting on my boot videos, asking me why I don't wear my Iron Rangers, it's because he knew they were too big on me, and he could tell somehow, and he wants me to ask him why. Please don't tell me why, because I genuinely do not care, because these boots fit me perfectly. Now, one of the things that I'm sure you may have seen when you started researching Iron Rangers is that they're notoriously difficult to break in. So I did use 2 different products from Rose Anvil to help with the break-in period of my Iron Rangers. One is something I had I can't speak today. One is something I had anticipated, and that would be the insoles. So I did use the Rose Anvil 2mm foam boot breakers. I used them for, I think I had them in maybe 2 months or so. And they were great. They did make the boots a little bit more comfortable, but I think ultimately, personally, I probably did not need them. Who they're for is the person who has never worn a heritage style boot before, or a boot with a veg tan insole for that matter. Now, I've had plenty of people comment and also tell me I'm an idiot, that these are the most comfortable boots they've ever put on their feet. They can buy a brand new pair and walk 100 miles in them and be completely fine. That's great, but everybody's feet are different. So if you have never worn a heritage style boot before, or a boot that has a veg tan insole, they're going to be very uncomfortable. A veg tan insole is very stiff and very hard, but over time it will soften up and it will mold to your foot, essentially giving you a custom fit boot. But if you've never done that before, never worn that before, they're going to be really, really uncomfortable, which is where I believe the myth that these are incredibly uncomfortable and they take ages to break in came from. Now, if you've never worn them, get yourself a pair of those Rose Anvil boot breakers. They're like 20 bucks. They're very thin. They don't take up a lot of space in the boot, and they do actually make it a little bit more comfortable. And I did A/B them with and without, and they were fine. And they're not in here any longer. They're actually in my Parkhurst 618 last, because those were just a tiny bit big. I didn't need them for comfort. I need them because the boot was a tiny bit big on me. Put those 2mm boot breakers in there. They took up that little bit of space. Now that boot fits me perfectly as well. So I did have those in here. The other thing was a suggestion after I had been wearing them. It didn't happen right away. It happened about a month or two in, but my right boot, you can see right here, you see that on the tongue? It's kind of hard. I'm actually filming in the daylight for a change, so I'm getting glare that I'm not used to. But if you see here, there's two right here and right here. There's indentations, and that was from the actual speed laces. They were digging into my ankle, like right into my ankle bone. So someone had suggested I try a kiltie. So I reached out to Rose Anvil because they make the copper rough and tough kilties. These are the same leather from Redwing. So these are the exact same leather. They match the boot. And what this is, a kiltie, it's a false tongue. Now, they're there to help protect the boot because, as you can see, if you don't have a kiltie, you got a lot of these wear marks from the laces digging into your tongue, so they help prevent that. They also help keep dust and dirt out of there. Now, a lot of loggers will use these, and these are great if you do work actively, especially if you're in the woods. It keeps a lot of that debris out of your boot. But I got them because I needed a little bit extra layer, so I had the kilties, and I laced them in there, and it just kind of tucked in there, and it really helped so much. It helped prevent that those eyelets from digging into my ankle. Now, over time, the boots broke in. I took these out. When I was testing them, I did A/B them. I wore them for like a week or two, took them out for a week or two, wore them for a week or two, kind of went back and forth. So ultimately, I ended up taking them out once the boots were broken in, but they were a great addition to help with that comfort. So they do help. That's not their intended use. They're meant to keep debris and stuff out of the tongue to protect the tongue, but they do also help for a little bit of comfort if by chance you have these eyelets digging into your ankle bone. So those are the two things I did to make these more comfortable while they're breaking in. Now, after a couple of months, these things, they feel great. I mean, you could see they're worn in quite a bit. There's a lot of darkening from my selvage and just jeans in general, pants in general, rubbing on the leather. You do have some scuffing and nicks on the toe there. You can kind of see both toes. These do get a lot of wear. Now, there's two pairs of boots that I will wear if I know I'm going into the city doing a lot of walking. One is these right here, the Iron Rangers. The other would be, at this point, I would still choose my older 602M last of my Parkhurst the Richmonds, because those are just a little bit more broken and I've had them a lot longer than the new version. But those boots are really comfortable. So if I'm going to be walking a lot at a long distance in the city, it's either these or my Richmond. So once they break in, yes, these things are incredibly comfortable. And I feel like right now that these are well broken in, I can easily walk 100 miles in these and be probably fine. I'm sure if I walked 100 miles in anything other than a hiker, though, I'm going to have some hot spots or blisters on my feet. So, I mean, if I'm going to be walking 100 miles, I'm going to be wearing a hiker or a running shoe. But this might be a good candidate for me for a bug out boot. Might be my Redwing Iron Rangers. So if I was running out the door, never to come back, this would be if not the one of the boots that I would consider grabbing out the door. So once they break in, yeah, these could be a bug out boot. Now, after a year of solid wear, we don't have that much wear and tear on the soles. And yes, while I do have a lot of other boots and I do go through phases where I am reviewing a ton of boots, I still wear these a lot. And you can see there's a little bit of heel wear there. That is probably the most wear besides the nicking up on the back of the boots, but they're wearing really, really well. Now, a couple of points of note to make here is my initial unboxing, and people still to this day are telling me I'm wrong, but I did sell boots for I think 12 to 15 years of my life. Not Red Wings, but I sold Carolinas, I sold Chippewas, I sold Double H, I sold Ultima, I sold Thoroughgood, Wolverine. When I got these, they were nicked up, scuffed up, I should say, on the heels and the toes. And what that would have been from was someone tried these on. I think these were returned. So someone bought these from Huckberry and they were the wrong size. They weren't worn, the soles were completely clean, and someone just tried them on, and they probably had them, wore them around the house a little bit, and kicked them on and off a couple times, and sent them back for a different size. And that was from the same way I do it. When I'm going to take my boots off, I will sometimes step on the back of my boot, or when I'm sitting in a chair, sometimes I will cross my feet and I'll do this. So you're always kind of nicking the toes and the heels first, and people are telling me it was from the way that their boots are made, or from sitting in the box. Well, it was just the toes and the heels. It wasn't anything on the side. So if they were in the box, which they come like this in a box, they would have been nicked up on the edges of the boot as well, and they weren't. It was just the toe and the heel, and I was a little bummed because they weren't a brand new pair of boots, especially since I spent $350 on them. But ultimately, as I think I even said in the video, I don't care. It wasn't something I was going to send them back for, because after like 2 days of wear, they were nicked up from me wearing them. And at this point, they're all darkened on the back. You can't tell. I mean, they're nicked. You could tell they're nicked up, but it was a non-issue. And I think I even said it in that original video. Like, I was a little bummed. I think you could see it on my face when I first opened them and looked and saw that they were a little nicked up. I was bummed, but the boots were brand new. The soles were obviously never worn outside. So yeah, if someone nicks up the heel and the toe of your boots, it doesn't really matter, because you're about to do the same thing within a day or two of wearing them. So yeah, it was a non-issue. The other thing is, these soles are a bit loud. People are gonna hear you coming. They click. And that is on top of this mat. So here, they're going to hear your toe strike. They're a bit loud. So when I wear these to work, and I do work in an office building, or if I'm walking outside, you can hear me clickety-clacketing down the sidewalk or down the hallway. And that's just something you're going to have to learn to live with, because the sole is a little bit harder. It's not a softer sole. But yeah, there's some trade-offs though. So you're going to be clickety-clacking, something you're going to have to live with. But the trade-off is the little bit harder soles will last you a little bit longer. Generally, my experience is the softer sole, the more comfortable it's going to be, because you get a lot more cushion when you're striking. But these are really fine. As I said, these could potentially be a bug-out boot, so the fact that they're not a soft sole is going to make them last even longer when I'm bugging out. But I might be a little loud when I'm clickety-clacketing trying to get around those zombies. So it might be a trade-off. I don't know. But there's really my 2 points of note, really. Now, going back to the break-in period. Now, as I said, I use the Rosanville boot breakers because I had heard these are notoriously difficult to breaking in. So if you're used to heritage boots, you don't need anything like that. I think you can totally get away with it. And I would say after 2 months, these things were solidly broken in, totally comfortable, can wear them all the time. I did wear these into Philly a couple of times last winter. I wore my Richmonds into New York City. So I think I just trading them off. Like, I was kind of going back and forth. When I was in the city, I'd wear one pair of boots, and the next time I'd wear a different pair of boots. So they've definitely been into Philadelphia a couple of times. I think I've only worn the Richmonds into New York City, but I've worn them around the city. And after like 2 months, they were solidly broken in, comfortable, completely fine to wear all day long walking around the city. So if you're used to a heritage boot, I'd say 1 to 2 months and they're totally broken in. If you're used to it, you don't need a boot breaker or anything like that. You may want to get a kiltie, just because it really depends on, I guess, the way you walk, your own body mechanics, but my tongue seemed to twist a little bit, and it just wasn't completely covering that eyelet, and it was just digging into my ankle bone. So the kiltie did give that little extra layer of padding there, but once this leather softened up, they flex and bend quite easily. And I think it was just because the boots were just brand new and this was just stiff, so it was just kind of leaning right in with the lace. Now that they're loosened up, there's a lot of flex and it's a non-issue. They don't dig in or hurt at all anymore. So yeah, it's a solid boot. I definitely am happy I bought the boots. I went back and forth with them for a long time because $350, it's a lot of money for a pair of boots, especially if you're just getting into heritage wear and menswear. You see the price of a lot of these products. Like I'm wearing a pair of jeans right now that cost $250. Me a couple of years ago would have said, you're goddamn crazy, $250. Now I realize that the cost per wear of these things, like I've worn these so much. I'll tell you exactly how many times I wore these jeans. This is my Indigo Invitational pair of jeans. I've worn these now 134 times, spent $250 on them, and I'm down to $1.87 per wear. Now I didn't log how many wears I have in these boots, but my cost per wear is probably about the same. I've had these a year, so I've had these longer. They cost $100 more, but I've had them longer and I've worn them a lot. I can wear these, 10, 12 hours in a day and be completely fine. I can put these on at 7:30 in the morning and not take them off until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and I'm fine. I don't take them off. I don't have any foot fatigue. I don't have any hot spots. I never once gotten a blister from these. They are incredibly comfortable to wear once they're broken in. Would I do that when they're brand new? No, I'd wear them throughout the course of the day at work, and then I would take them off as soon as I came home. And if I had never worn a pair of heritage style boots before, I would probably bring a pair of sneakers or something with me and wear these throughout half the day. And then once my feet start getting a little sore, I'd swap out of them. There's no sense, you don't have to hurt yourself to break in your boots. Wear them until you can't, and then put on a different pair of shoes and wear them the next day. There's no reason to wear them until your feet bleed. If your feet are uncomfortable, swap into a different pair of boots and just try to wear them a little bit longer the next day. Eventually they're gonna break in and you're gonna be able to wear them for 10 to 12 hours in a day. But ultimately, these are great boots. I see why a lot of people love them. I love the look and the aesthetic of them. Yes, people say they have a bulbous clown toe. I don't think so. I mean, it's obviously a big toe. You could tell it's a bigger toe, but I don't think wearing them, they look like I'm wearing a clown shoe. I think personally, they look bigger when they're not on the feet. Like right now, not even on a person, they do look like the toe's bigger. But once you put these on and you're looking down at them, they don't look like it's a big bulbous toe at all. Yeah, especially once you put a pair of jeans or a pair of pants on and it covers it just all blends together. It looks great. It looks good. So all in all, at the very end of it, do I think these are worth $350? Yeah, I do. I see why a lot of people love these boots. I understand the hype around them. I love the look. I love the aesthetic. They break in and they are now one of my most comfortable pairs of boots, and I will wear these just about anywhere. They are not the most, they're more casual boots, so if you work in a business casual environment, you're probably not going to be able to wear these at least daily. Me, I will, because my office building is a little bit more lax. I wear jeans and a button-down shirt, usually my shirt untucked, always my shirt untucked, unless I have to tuck it in. So I can get away with wearing these in my office building, but if you have to dress a little bit more actual business casual, this might not be the best boot for that situation. But if you do work in an office or anywhere else, it's a great casual boot. If you do work in an office that is a little bit more lax dress code like me, where you can wear jeans, you can totally get away with these. Just know they'll hear you coming down the hall because they're a little bit clickety clackety. But yeah, I'm very happy I ended up spending the money on them. Again, I did buy these from Huckberry, but I bought them with my own money. I spent $350 on them. And yeah, they're great. Once they broke in, one of my most comfortable pairs of boots. I'll wear these until they need to get resold, and then I'm going to end up resoling these and continue to wear them as long as I possibly can. So I do think that the Redwing Iron Ranger is worth the hype. It's a pretty damn good boot, and I'm really enjoying wearing them, and they're one of my favorite pairs of boots. So there you go. I hope this helped you just a little bit. After a full year of wearing them, I can still honestly say, yeah, I love these boots, and I'm going to continue to wear them for at least another year, probably the rest of my life, because I'm pretty sure these are going to last me the next 30 or 40 years. That's a long time. Good night.